Yo, what's going on, Walten Files fans, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we'll be ranking every single episode of the Walten Files that I have personally watched. Obviously, episode 5 and 6 are not out right now, so I thought, why not go over the episodes that have been released, including the non-canon ones, and go over which are my favorite and the reasonings why they're my favorite, and some of the ones that are a little bit lower on the list and why they're a little bit lower on the list. So yeah, let's get straight into this video. If you do enjoy, let me know your opinion in the comments below. I'm going to include the mysterious house and Buzu's ghost. So out of the 6 videos that you've seen, let me know in the comments below what your ranking is. I'd love to hear your opinions on it. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. But we have one really important thing to say before this video gets started, and that's from our sponsors of today's video, Aura. Aura is an amazing company that honestly just keeps me so secured when I'm browsing online, especially when I have to do some online shopping, and ultimately helps me keep my account and my security safe from hackers and identity theft. Aura has this great service that you can get right now in the top of the link in the description below, and you can basically just have a 2-week free trial, no charge whatsoever, if you use the link in the description below. And it is an amazing service, and honestly it's absolutely incredible for keeping all your details safe online. Aura keeps all my details safe with one click of a button, as also it sends out update requests for data that is being breached on my account. Aura is also so good at managing email tasks as well, because obviously we all know those email spam that we get, that will just pile up and pile up and pile up. With one click of a button, Aura can sort that out for you. And identity theft is a huge issue nowadays, as well as AT&T, one of the biggest branches in the world for data, has over 73 million customers that have both been previously involved with AT&T, had their security breached, and ultimately their data was leaked onto the dark web, and that is a super scary thought. However, Aura keeps your information safe and keeps those thoughts out of your head and makes sure you can be safe with your information online. So if you do want to keep your information safe, because I value my information and you should value yours, make sure to go check out with Aura in the top of the link in the description below. But without further ado, thank you so much for Aura sponsoring this video, but let's get back to the video. So we have a very interesting ranking for today's video, because in my opinion, I love absolutely every episode of the Walten Files. However, it is very clear that with time has passed and ultimately comparing to more recent episodes, there is definitely a quality increase in the more recent episodes. So for me, at the number 6 spot, I know this might sound very, I think it's personally fair enough, I'm gonna have Company Introductory Tape, which is episode 1. Now the reason I have episode 1 here is because it obviously is just setting up the series as a whole. Not much actually goes down other than the fact that some scares here and there, and ultimately the death of Brian Stells. But in comparison, episode 1 compared to episode 4, it is a completely different style of horror and a completely different style of video. So for me, I definitely think that episode 1 is a great episode, but in comparison to the other episodes I have over it, it just doesn't hold up for me. And at the number 5 spot, I again have another episode that is technically one of the older ones in the release date schedule, and that is the Relocate Project. Now the Relocate Project is definitely an amazing episode, and the fact that it only comes in at number 5, the second lowest on the list technically, it is absolutely insane and shows the quality and appreciation I have for this series, because the quality of this series is beyond amazing. I love it. So when it comes to this series and the Relocate Project being such an amazing episode, full of lore, full of scares, especially the fact that it's been number 5 on the list really does show how good this series is. The Relocate Project, I don't have much issues with it. It's just the fact that in comparison to the next one, I just prefer the next one in my opinion. And at number 4, which will be obviously in the comparison to the Relocate Project, I have Buzu's Ghost. Now Buzu's Ghost is definitely an underrated episode, because I definitely feel like it goes completely unnoticed with the Walten Files fandom as well. I mean, those who actually watch Buzu's Ghost, every time I watch it, there's some sort of element it probably is that last 10 minutes that really leave a kind of disturbing taste in your mouth. I don't really know how to describe it, but Mortality's voice along with the fate of Buzu in that episode really gets under my skin, no pun intended for you when you see Buzu's fate. But when you actually look at that episode, it is a really well told story. Obviously it is just kind of taking the Christmas Carol story and putting Buzu in there, but for me, the way they twist the story into more horrific elements as well really is clever to me, and I absolutely love it. Now at the number 3 spot, I do indeed have Cyberfun Tech, which is episode 4. Now that might be a huge shock to a lot of people, because Cyberfun Tech is obviously the most advanced episode that we've seen at the Walten Files, specifically Susan Wooding's official death in full, technically 3D but actually 2D animation, which when you find that out, it's crazy, the fact that that's actually 2D animation but it looks that 3D. It's insane, by the way. But Cyber Fun Tech is amazing. The lore in that video and the scenes you see in that episode is absolutely incredible, from the Susan Wooding's death scene to, you know, Felix on the cliff, to that image of the car crash with the dead kids in the back. It is really, really crazy when you see the cinematography levels of this episode, especially when you see the actual scares as well. There's definitely more emphasis on the atmosphere and world building in episode 4 to create tension and create horror, and I love that. I know there is like some jump scares here and there, but to me, I feel like the fact that the Walten Files is so clever with how to make an actual atmospheric horror rather than just jump scare, and I absolutely love it for that. And that means at the number 2 spot, I indeed have Bunny Farm. Now, Bunny Farm, I have a lot of people saying that it does drag on because of the length, but for me, I just really enjoy Bunny Farm. It is by far the scariest episode to me when I first watched it. I mean, you have the Charles scene, you have Rosemary's screams, you have the Daisy scene at the end, you have Susan's scene technically again. We also have Rosemary, you know, in general, the hide and seek element of that before Rosemary screams is terrifying in that. We have the Ashley scene at the start. There's so many horrific elements in Bunny Farm. The fact that you can actually see Brian Stell's body while the little Bon is roaming around the minigame, the fact that that's in there is super terrifying to me, that there's actually scares in there that you have to find yourself, almost kind of emphasizing the fact that you're playing a game here, but also if you want to play the game yourself, look around and you'll see some stuff that you won't actually notice on first watch, which is really cool to me. If that was intended or not, I think it's still pretty awesome. Also, with the introduction of Sophie Walten, the main protagonist of the series in my opinion, so that's really, really cool, and she is an awesome character. I know a lot of people are saying it's kind of annoying the way she keeps talking and stuff. I personally love the voice actor for Sophie as well. The Sophie voice actor is awesome. They do such an awesome job of creating this kind of element of surprise, confusion, and shock factor that this character is witnessing from seeing this game and seeing their actual family talking to them in this game, which is crazy. Also does play them really well, the fact that this is a character who does not remember a thing, and you definitely, the voice in this series absolutely sells it, and I love it. But ultimately, I mean, if you've been on the channel before, you kind of expected what my number 1 was going to be, and that is, of course, The Mysterious House. The Mysterious House is by far the best storytelling, the best character development, and the best scares in my, well, second best scares behind Bunny Farm of the entire series, because we have Ducky and Tammy, really innocent children who are obviously being played by characters in universe. We have the introduction of my main man, the Pumpkin Rabbit. We have the Witch Shaw. We have TVA's first introduction as well, along with Billy the Clown. And I feel that the fact that this episode is amazing, the fact that it's really good storytelling, it's actually really horrific when you read into that episode as well, the fact that Ducky and Tammy did absolutely nothing wrong and still faced that fate. To me, that is such a horrific element of this series, and I really do love it for that. I mean, when you actually look and, you know, delve into that episode and analyze it, it is absolutely terrifying to me when you actually see what the Pumpkin Rabbit does, because when you actually witness the bodies of what the Pumpkin Rabbit does to them, you can't really figure out what the Pumpkin Rabbit actually did, and that's terrifying. It kind of leaves you up to imagination, and in my opinion, the mind can really create something 10 times scarier than what's actually been done, in my opinion. So that is why I love the scare factor in this episode. Not only the scare factor, but of course you gotta look at the Pumpkin Rabbit. The Pumpkin Rabbit, of course, voiced by Martin. I absolutely love this character. He is terrifying. He is literally Bon, but I feel like he's actually scarier than Bon on multiple occasions. But for me, number 1 is definitely The Mysterious House. I absolutely adore this episode with all my heart. The plushies came out, I instantly copped them. I had to, I needed them so badly. So yeah, that is my ultimate ranking. We have episode 1, episode 2, Boozoo's Ghosts, we have Cyber Fun Tech, episode 3, and The Mysterious House. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know your ranking of the episodes in the comments below. Of course, we're all awaiting episode 5 and 6. That'll probably come out next year, hopefully the start of next year, maybe February or something like that. That'd be pretty awesome. But let me know your ranking in the comments below. Of course, if you like the Walten Files, make sure to smash the like button down below. Make sure to subscribe as well. We are really close to hitting 4.1k. If you could help us hit that goal, I'd really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. We will check you in the next one. And of course, thank you to Aura for sponsoring this video. Check out the link in the top of the description to go check them out as well for your 2-week free trial. And of course, have the most amazing day. Stay safe. Peace. First shot of this episode. Tammy picks this house.
Oh, what about that one?
Now, if you ask me, that is the, worst house you can pick. It has wallpaper on the outside.